I need you to hear something that nobody in your life has the courage to tell you. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your best friend, not the mentor you have not found yet, not the lucky break you have been waiting for, not the universe aligning in your favor, not the right moment arriving when you are finally ready. Nobody is coming. And the sooner you truly believe that, not intellectually, not as a concept, but in your bones, the sooner your actual life begins. The comfortable lie we are all living. From the moment we are born, we are trained to wait for rescue. As children, someone always came. You cried, and someone appeared. You struggled, and someone helped. You failed, and someone caught you. This was appropriate. This was childhood. But something went wrong in the transition to adulthood. For many people, the waiting never stopped. The expectation of rescue became so deeply embedded that it transferred invisibly into adult life. Now they wait for the job that will finally make them happy, the relationship that will finally make them feel whole, the moment they finally feel ready, the person who will finally see their potential and give them the opportunity they deserve. They are still waiting to be saved, and they will wait forever, because the rescue is never coming. It was never supposed to come. The psychology of learned helplessness. In the 1960s, psychologist Martin Seligman ran a series of experiments that revealed one of the most important and disturbing discoveries in the history of psychology. Dogs were placed in a situation where they received mild shocks they could not control or escape. Then, when they were placed in a new situation where escape was possible, most of them did not try to escape. They had learned that their actions did not matter, that struggle was pointless, that the outcome was beyond their control, and they endured. Seligman called this learned helplessness, and then he found it in humans, people who experience repeated situations where their efforts seem to produce no results, bad grades despite studying, job applications with no responses, relationships that fail despite their best efforts, begin to generalize. They stop trying in new areas. They assume that effort is futile, that they are just unlucky, that the game is rigged. They become passive. They wait, they endure, and they call it patience. It is not patience. It is learned helplessness wearing a disguise. The truth about every person you admire. Think about the person whose life you want, the entrepreneur who built something from nothing, the athlete who reached the top, the artist whose work moves you, the person who seems to have figured something out that most people never do. Here is what their story actually looked like at the beginning. They were confused. They were scared. They had no guarantee it would work. They had no mentor standing over them, no perfect moment, no safety net, no proof that they were capable of what they were attempting. They started anyway. Not because they were fearless, not because they had advantages you do not have, not because the universe whispered in their ear that they were special, because at some point, they stopped waiting for permission. They stopped waiting to feel ready. They stopped waiting for someone to hand them the thing they wanted. They decided that if it was going to happen, they were the one who had to make it happen. That decision, that single terrifying, liberating decision, is the entire difference. What waiting is actually costing you. Every day you spend waiting is a day you are not building. And days compound, weeks compound, years compound. The person who started a year ago, with the same skills, the same circumstances, the same fears you have right now, is a year ahead of you. Because they started. There is a concept in physics called opportunity cost. Every choice has a cost. Not just the thing you chose, but every alternative you did not choose. Every hour you spend waiting has a cost. The growth, the experience, the progress that did not happen in that hour. You are not standing still when you wait. You are falling behind, slowly, invisibly, but absolutely. And the cruelest part is, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Because inaction builds its own momentum. The brain that has been passive for months is less equipped to act than the brain that acted yesterday. Waiting does not prepare you. Waiting weakens you. The moment, everything actually changes. People believe that change comes from the outside. The right opportunity, the right person, the right circumstances finally aligning. It does not. Change comes from a decision made in a single, private, unremarkable moment. A moment that looks like nothing from the outside. A moment no one else witnesses. The moment you decide, not to feel motivated, not to feel ready, not to have a plan, but simply to stop waiting and start moving. It does not feel like a turning point when it happens. It feels uncomfortable, uncertain, even foolish. But every transformation in human history started there, in that private, quiet, unseeable moment, when one person decided, enough waiting, starting now. What to do with this? Step 1. Identify what you are waiting for. Be honest. Are you waiting to feel ready? Waiting for permission? Waiting for someone to notice you? Waiting for conditions to be perfect? Waiting to be saved in some form? Name it exactly, because you cannot release what you cannot see. Step 2. Understand that the feeling of readiness never arrives before action. Readiness is not a prerequisite for action. It is a product of action. You do not feel ready and then start. You start, and then, slowly, through the doing, through the failing, through the adjusting, you become ready. The feeling you are waiting for will only come if you move first. It will never come if you keep waiting for it. Step 3. Take the smallest possible action today. Not the perfect action, not the complete plan, not the fully formed version of what you want to build. The smallest possible action that moves in the right direction. One message sent, one page written, one thing applied for, one conversation started. Not because one small action changes everything, but because one small action proves to your nervous system that you are someone who acts, and that proof compounds. Step 4. Stop explaining your situation and start changing it. The energy you spend explaining why your circumstances are difficult, why your starting point is harder than others, why the timing is bad, that energy is being taken directly from the energy available to change it. Your circumstances are real, your challenges are real, and they are yours to solve. Not because it is fair, because there is nobody else who can. You have been waiting, maybe for years, and you are allowed to acknowledge that. You are allowed to feel whatever that brings up. But today, right now, after this video, you have a choice. You can keep waiting for something that is never going to come, or you can become the thing you are waiting for. Nobody is coming to save you. That is not a tragedy. That is the most liberating truth that exists, because it means the life you want is entirely within your power to create. It was always yours to build. You just had to stop waiting for permission. Subscribe to Mind Vault. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can give another person is the truth they were not ready to hear at exactly the moment they need it.